Today we dedicate that memorial, and it's only because of the hard work and the incredible generosity of a lot of members of our community that this has been able to come to fruition today. John F. Kennedy said that a nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors and the men it remembers. Thank you for helping us to remember Command Sergeant Major Kevin Griffin today. Hold it. All right. Forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Daniel Gallegos, the military liaison to Senator John Barrasso.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here today on behalf of Senator Barrasso on September 11th, 9/11 Patriots Day, a day that's set aside to remember and to thank those who sacrifice for us every day. I'm proud to be from Wyoming, to see so many patriots, young and small, coming out and expressing their patriotism. Thank you. A letter from Senator John Barrasso. Dear friends, greeting as you gather to celebrate the dedication of the Command Sergeant Major Griffin Memorial in Veterans Park. It is a great honor to express my heartfelt appreciation for the sacrifices our servicemen and women have made, as well as the patriotism of the community here today. The history and the foundation of our nation was built by men and women like Sergeant Major Griffin. His belief in God, country, family, and honor compelled him to serve his country. He made the ultimate sacrifice for the idea of liberty. It is our obligation and our responsibility to remember the price he paid for our freedom. As I think about all gathered today to celebrate Sergeant Major Griffin, I am humbled by your commitment to honoring this hero. May he forever stand as a reminder to our state of the unwavering loyalty and of the servicemen and women. Bobby joins me in sending our best wishes for today's dedication. Senator John Barrasso.
welcome Riverton Mayor, the Honorable Ron Wortness.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've been asked by the Memorial Committee to say a few words at this very special time on 9/11. For me, none of these events are easy, as I have never considered myself a public speaker in the first place, but mainly because I feel so inadequate to the task. My position, however, requires a certain amount of time to be spent on the edge of my comfort zone. I'm sure that many of us up here on the stage know what I'm talking about. I can tell you that you're getting your money's worth with me, as it seems like that's where I spend most of my time. I did not know Command Sergeant Major Kevin Griffin personally. I never had the pleasure of meeting him. But I feel that I have a strong understanding of him as a resident of Riverton. A graduate of Riverton High School, an athlete, and a military man. I share many of those titles, but not to the degree of Major Griffin. Kevin. He was a very special product of our community. In putting this talk together, I asked myself what it takes to create a man of such character, such integrity, and culminating in such valor. While it is currently in vogue to find fault with everything close to us, from bad roads to weeds, to alcoholics to delinquents, up pops a man like Kevin. How do we explain his existence when he comes from the same kettle as all the rest of us? While we are busy rationalizing our failure and weakness at what we can't accomplish, Kevin, in his short life, inspired our community. What was there in him that put him head and shoulders above the rest of us? I'm sure that I can't explain it, but there was a very special spark in him. Being mayor, I try to look a little closer at our community than the average person might, and I see literally hundreds of citizens that have had a part in helping Kevin become the man he was. Parents that gave him a solid upbringing, family members that depended on him, neighbors that watched out for him and cared about him, even when he didn't know they were watching. Schoolmates that supported and loved him, even when he did something dumb. Business people that provided an ethical foundation so that he could learn to judge right from wrong, even as they provided needed services. Teachers to help guide him in his growing wisdom, and coaches to help him understand that fairness is just as important a part of strength as is muscle mass. Religious leaders to teach him that we are all here for a reason, even if that sometimes it's not clear what that reason is. Police, men and women, to help him understand that force has consequences, and that it is important that we all live together under the rule of law. And yes, perhaps even mayors and councilmen too have helped him to understand that our country is made up of men and women that want nothing for our community but a better way of life for all of our citizens. Kevin grew up learning these things from many people, hating the good, ignoring the weakness, and molding himself into the man that many love, and we all have come here to honor. He understood how very valuable each of these traits are to all of us. He learned those lessons so well from each of us that he gave his life defending it. We are here now honoring his sacrifice, and by doing so are claiming a small victory for ourselves in a job well done. Individually, each of us may have helped in a very small way to make Kevin what he became. But I believe that collectively, all of Riverton together was a significant part of the making of Kevin Griffin, the man we are honoring here today. And I bet Kevin would agree were he here. Given that belief, our future looks bright for us all. Thank you.
Please welcome Brigadier General Kathy Wright.
I am honored and humbled to be here today. Mike Malone said, "To be a soldier is the noblest act of mankind." Today, as we dedicate this memorial, we honor a soldier, Command Sergeant Major Kevin J. Griffin. special to a number of people for a number of different reasons. My remarks will remember him as a sergeant major, as I share some insights about sergeant majors and their role in the Army. A unique non-commissioned rank, sergeant major refers to both a military rank and a specific leadership position. It is the highest enlisted rank, just above first sergeant and master sergeant. The leadership position, command sergeant major, is the senior enlisted advisor to the commanding officer and carries with it certain ceremonial functions such as caring for the unit's colors or flag. Command sergeant majors serve as monitors of and advocates for the enlisted soldiers in the command. A sergeant major serves as a spokesperson to address the issues of enlisted soldiers to all officers, from warrant officers to lieutenants to the Army's highest positions. As such, much of a sergeant major's time is spent traveling throughout the command, observing training, and talking to soldiers and their families. He or she serves as the eyes and ears of the commander, a trusted confidant. The first official use by the United States of this term was in 1776, when a sergeant major was appointed to the headquarters of each infantry battalion in the Continental Army. The rank was used by both the Union and Confederate armies during the Civil War. At that time, it was the highest enlisted rank, being just above a quartermaster sergeant. The same rank insignia was used by both armies, who varied the color of the stripes by assigning red for artillery, yellow for cavalry, and blue for infantry. In 1920, with the standardization of the Army's enlisted pay grades, it ceased to be a title of rank or grade. However, it survived as the job title of the senior NCO of a battalion and was reintroduced as a rank in 1958 when Congress authorized the E8 and E9 pay grades. Only an elite few reach the rank, as the law limits E9s to not more than 1% of the number of enlisted members of the armed force during any fiscal year. So the fact that Kevin Griffin attained this rank attests to his skills and abilities. We often hear the enlisted force referred to as the backbone of the Army. We may think of a backbone in reference to your spine, but if you look at Webster's, you find much more. For example, a main support or major sustaining factor, a ridge forming the principal axis of a mountain, or strength of character, determination. We say someone has backbone when they exercise courage in defending right. As the senior non-commissioned officer, the sergeant major is the ultimate backbone, an example as a leader, and command sergeant major exercised this backbone. On a more personal note, I value the counsels of sergeant major. I have found them to be valuable mentors and counselors. The sergeant majors I have served with are some of my most memorable and revered comrades. I am sure that any number of soldiers and commanders would say no less of Command Sergeant Major Griffin. A sergeant major can be counted on for honest feedback. Since I was a junior soldier, I have sought the counsel of sergeant majors. The relationship of a commander and a first sergeant is special, but the relationship of a